Hey guys, today is day 4 out of 30, and here's a voice note from one of my clients that I got.
Gian, we have some exciting fucking news for you. 5K paid in full off the back of one of the ads.
Very, very happy whenever I get those messages or even voice notes from clients. So that's Adam Moore, one of my clients. He gave me permission that I can use his name and just explain a bit of background information of Adam. I'm not going to share too much details because I do want to give him some privacy in terms of what's currently working for him. So I'll just share like a broad overview so I can give you guys some value. So for Adam, we're just launching ads, $100 to $200 a day. I'll give a breakdown of his current funnel and some of the like the scripts that we're using. Not verbatim because I do want to give him some privacy. So he closed $5,000, so cash collect. That basically means how much money he got, not revenue, like actual money that he got deposited into his payment processor. So we're just running $100 to $200 per day on ads. He got 5,000 bucks, less than a weekend. So 6 days, 6 to 7 days of ads running. And today, a few hours ago, he closed another $5,000, which is good. So he just sent me a text message, which is good. So 5,000 plus 20% off the last one. So is that $10,000 and has just only $10,000 cash collect, and he's only been spending $100 to $200 per day on ads. I have a call with him tomorrow, and then we're gonna wrap up the ad spend. That's what I'm gonna tell him. It's like, hey, the cash collect ROAS is very healthy. Let's push it up even further. So I have a scaling roadmap with him tomorrow, which is really good. So that's gonna be Adam. So let me give you like a breakdown for Adam. For Adam, he has a very strong social like. Before the ads ran, I had to diagnose his business to see where he's at. Because working with me, it's not a cookie cutter funnel. Everything is quite custom based off everybody's specific information of what's currently working for them, like what has not worked for them in the past, what's currently working for them, or what's like what they haven't tried. So I need to know those data points of like everything that shat the bed for them and everything that's currently working for them and what there are personal pros and cons for the business. I'll give you an example. For Adam, before working with me, he already had a very strong social media presence. Like he was getting some views that were like, a few thousand, few 100,000 views organically. And I'm like, that's freaking great. The only problem there, he was struggling with lead quality, right, from those organic posts, and he was never running ads. Too much like money on ads. I think he spent like 200 bucks on ads. So it's a brand new ad account for him, for Adam. So his pros was he had a very strong social media presence, like a lot of followers. Cons is lead quality for his ads were for his organic posts were not good because it just wasn't the messaging wasn't resonating with the right ICP. So that was a pro. That was a con for him. And based off his information, he was only running like $100 total for his ads, like his entire ad account. So it wasn't too much ad spend there. So that's the data I had to collect. Also, he did run a VSL funnel direct to a WhatsApp. So they can actually set the call, converse, and nurture the prospects. So that's what he was running before. So with all that information, I knew he was struggling with lead quality. He ran a funnel, like a VSL WhatsApp funnel, and he had a strong organic. So based off that, the original game plan for Adam, when we first started off for the first day, we wanted to run 3 different funnels to figure out what's the winning funnel, right? Because organic is strong, so potentially profile visit ads can work very, very well for him, especially if he's really good behind the camera, which he is. So we ran profile visit funnel. Alongside profile visit funnel is basically when you boost an Instagram post to get more followers and convert those followers to a call or a conversation, and then a call, and then to a client. So we were running that funnel, profile visit funnel, and then we were running a VSL plus WhatsApp funnel because that's what he ran before and it did work well for him for a bit. And then that's number 2. And number 3 was a VSL call funnel with a Typeform embed. Reason why we ran this, or currently running this, is because he was struggling with lead quality. So we were optimizing for VSL Typeform, but optimizing for scheduled events, which is a book call. We were not optimizing for more applications or more leads or whatever. We were optimizing for the end result, which is an application or a scheduled call. So we were running 3 funnels. By day 2, day 3, I knew exactly based off the metrics of our cost per application and our cost per book call, which one was performing best for us. So within day 2, day 3, I did turn off 2 other funnels. So we started with 3 funnels simultaneously. Early data, we turned off 2 funnels. So we kept 1 funnel, which was the VSL Typeform, a funnel optimized for scheduled calls, like book calls, to get higher intent leads. So that's what worked for us. And after making that shift, we got a deal closed right after that. So He got 2 deals closed. His ROAS is very, very healthy. I'm very, very excited for him. And right now, the spend is very low, like $100, $200. So like at this rate, it's still very early. Like we still have like a lot of bottlenecks to fix. And right now, if he's doing this well without like too much bottlenecks right off the bat, he's on track for $100,000 per month. If we have a roadmap for scaling, producing a lot of creatives and getting them executed in a timely manner, he can be at 100,000. However, hitting $100,000 per month is all a numbers game. Like we've done it a lot. I've done it for a lot of my clients, but for Adam specifically, there has to be a specific roadmap for scaling. It's not like, oh, I can hit $100,000 per month. It's like, no, based off of math, what is it? Is it ad spend? Is it more creatives? Is it solving your lead quality score? Is it solving your show up rates? Right. So you have to break it down by math. You can't look at like $100,000 as like a crazy, crazy number. It's like, no, you just got to sell something expensive. You gotta target the right people, and you got to make sure your KPIs are in check. If they're not in check, how do you solve those? Because you got to solve the bottlenecks for all clients. Not all clients like that I take on are going to be billionaires by day one. That does not happen. There's always going to be bottlenecks and problems to solve, which is most likely lead quality. So for a lot of clients, that's what I'm solving, is going to be lead quality. I have some clients that are struggling with lead quality right now, and I'm revising some game plans for this week so we can fix those problems, because I want to make sure all my clients are making a fuck ton of money. But the number one problem that we see is going to be for lead quality. So let me show you how I'm currently working with clients to fix that issue, because if you fix lead quality on your ad, so like who you're targeting, that fixes a lot of your bottlenecks, right? It fixes your show up rate. It fixes your cash collect ROAS. It fixes your percentage of payment plans to PIFs, like how much money you actually collect upfront. Okay, but I digress. Let's talk about, for Adam, what's worked for him. I'll give as much information as I can, but not too much, because I do want to give some Adam some privacy here, because I already mentioned his last name, Adam Moore. So let me pull up some notes for Adam. So for Adam, the most important part when it comes to running ads is understanding what lever has the biggest impact. And the lever is, like, if you can only focus 99% of your efforts on your business, what would it be? Like, what's going to generate the most money? It is scripting and the creative itself. Right. So if you're running ads, that's the most important factor. Doesn't matter what your offer is. Doesn't matter how you look. Doesn't matter what your funnel is like. Doesn't matter what email or SMS sequences are you running. Doesn't matter what you're doing on the ad account, like a campaign structure or like a fancy like targeting and stuff like that. It's like a campaign like strategy, like on like paid media. That is more secondary. The number one thing that really, really moves the needle is the video creative. It's the creative itself. So let me give you some information. So when you run ads, you're either running an image or a video ad that people see. So running ads on Facebook, Meta, and then you're going to direct them to like a landing page. On the landing page, you give them some information. They click on a button, and they either enter an application, which is like a questionnaire, so you can gather more information from that prospect, and direct them to a book call. That's a typical flow for most funnels. They want to see the ad, they want to consume a bit more information, they want to give their information because you're curious, and they want to book and call. That's what most funnels are like, to summarize it. Obviously, some other funnels have their own nuances, but that gives a summarization. So for Adam, we were running what's working that got him the 5K plus 5K plus 20%. So that's going to be 10,000 cash collect plus 20% for his latest deal. What worked for him is working for him is a VSL Typeform embed funnel optimized for schedule for a book call. So they see the VSL, which is a video sales letter. They see the embed, which is a Typeform where it's a questionnaire where they can answer some questions. And then if they're curious, they'll just book in a call with him and his sales team, and then they close some deals. Very simplistic. So what moves the needle is going to be the actual scripting, the video. For Adam, he's very, very good behind the camera. He looks very fit. Typically, people who are fit and very good behind the camera, like an A camera, like a B angle, an A cam, and a B cam, like where it interchanges, like a video, that performs very well. The better you can actually improve your videos, the better the performance of the ads will be. Like, people are judgmental. People care what they see. Right? If you look broke, you will attract broke people. If you have a nice background, you will attract like affluent people. Because we have to imagine people are very, very judgmental right off the bat when it comes to the visuals. So what worked for Adam, let's start off with the scripts, because I did mention the number one lever is going to be the creative itself. So when it comes to the creative, the most important part is actually the scripting. Like scripting, like what are the words that you're actually saying? So for Adam and for a lot of my clients, we start off with different types of hooks. Hooks is like the first line of the actual video itself. For Adam, he didn't know what his specific ICP was. So we're currently doing a lot of A/B tests of who our ICP is that can make Adam the most amount of money. His offer is fairly simplistic. He scales brands, and he has his own, way of doing that. So that's the body. CTA, simple. Click learn more, and just book in a call. Right? It's very, very simple. So we have to figure out who's our ICP for Adam, plus what does he solve. All right, so that's the most important thing. So for Adam, we had to break down. So I have the specific scripts word for Adam here. So we started off with 6 hooks. For some clients, we start off with 3 hooks, 5 hooks, 10 hooks, a few bodies. So for each client, it's hyper specific based off where they're at. For Adam, we started with 6 hooks and 2 bodies. So that brings us with 12 video ads. But we started off with 6 ads because of the spend, right? If we launch way too many ads on the accounts and the spend is small, like 100 or 200, and we're launching like a million ads, the amount of ad spend going for each video is going to be diluted by a lot. So for him, we just started off with 6 hooks, 2 bodies, and that's 12 videos, but we start off with 12 videos. We start off the ad account with 6 videos only. So number one, we had to figure out what our ICP is. So we started getting like TikTok shop affiliates, UGC creators, freelancers, AI copywriters, high ticket closers and setters, and corporate professionals. And then not only that. So that's more of like a direct script. And then it's an ICP callouts, which is who you're targeting, right? So let's say TikTok shop affiliates. That's an ICP. And then problem that you're solve. So like we called out the ICP and then we call out the problem. So for one of the video ads we're running, it's TikTok shop affiliates. You are stuck chasing scraps and commissions while the platform takes the profit. So I've worked with like a lot of like TikTok shop and UGC affiliates and stuff like that. So one of their problems is they're working a lot, so they're filming a lot, but a lot of their money is actually being taken away from TikTok because of the percentage. So that's one of the biggest problems. And then we have 5 other ICPs. I don't want to go too much in detail, like verbatim. I want to give Adam some privacy here for his video ads. So it's going to be ICP and like a problem, right? So that's the hook that's currently working for Adam there, and that's what generated 10K cash collect for him. And then for the actual body of the video, we have it for him, it's going to be different. For other clients, it's going to be hyper specific. So his hook is going to be ICP and then problem. His body is going to be problem awareness, agitation, root cause / reframe, diagnosis, and the transformation, and then the solution introduction, offer details, and CTA. All right, so proof and then CTA. So that's the structure that's currently working for Adam. For other clients, the video ad structure is going to be very, very different. For my specific ads, for my specific offer, my specific niche, my video ad structure is very, very different. You always want to test different types of video ads structures because each video ad structure will perform differently for each account, each different offer, each different ICP, right? So you got to really A/B test this. So that's what we're currently working for Adam in terms of his videos. For other clients as well, what we focus on is when scripting the actual video ads is going to be the hook itself. And I'll give a reason why. For the creative, we have been testing quite a bit. We're testing direct ICP callouts. So I'll give you an example as well. Direct, indirect, and problemware. These are the 3 core types of hooks that are currently working in 2025. Q3 and now Q4. So it's October. So those are the 3 hooks that are crushing it for a lot of the accounts. So let me give you some examples so it's easier to visualize. So we have direct callouts. Direct callouts is what you typically see. It's going to be calling out your niche. I'll give you an example for me. My niche is going to be coaches, consultants, high ticket B2B, or anybody that sells anything expensive online. That is my ICP, people that sell expensive stuff online. So my ICP is going to be coaches and consultants. So if I'm creating a direct script, it would be using that direct ICP. So coaches and consultants. Now let's talk about problem aware. Problem aware So when it comes to for scripting, there's something called the 5 stages of awareness. So imagine an inverse triangle. So 5 stages of awareness, imagine like top of funnel, middle funnel, and bottom funnel. For the 5 stages of awareness, it's similar, right? Since it's an inverse triangle, you have a huge, huge block here. It's a really, really big audience. Imagine like a top of funnel. And then towards the end, right? So it's an inverse triangle. This portion, the bottom part of the triangle, is a very, very small demographic, a small audience. So let me break it down. The big audience is called the unaware stage. The second, which is slightly smaller, is going to be the problem aware. Then the next one's going to be solution aware. Then it's going to be product aware. And then also for most aware. Right? So it's an inverse triangle. So here you have to understand where those people are in terms of the buying journey. If we're talking to people that are unaware, they have no idea what you offer, they have no idea what the offer is, or they don't even know the problem. So it's a broad, broad market. You typically want to target these people if you're spending a lot of money on ads, $5,000 a day, $10,000 a day plus for the unaware markets. As you go down, they're much more nurtured. They're very, very warm, right? Towards the end, it's a small demo. Those people are the most aware. However, the con with that is there's not a lot of people. That's like the most aware. They know your product. They know who you are. They're ready to piff. They're ready to buy from you. But that's going to be like a very, very small portion of it. So if you run these people as an ad, like for a lot of spend for these ads for most aware, it's not going to perform as well because it's going to fatigue very, very fast. There's just not a lot of people here. So obviously we don't want to target the unaware stage because it's too broad. The ROAS is going to be very, very low. It's not going to perform as well. So we have to target people that are slightly below, which is going to be called the problem aware markets. That's a lot of people still, right? Because it's right under the unaware place, but it's still very large when it comes to the audience size, the targetable addressable market. Now it's going to be a bit more nurtured. They have the problem that you are solving for. So when it comes to the hooks, we are targeting the direct, indirect, and also problemware. Problemware is one of the best hooks to actually use because now it's instead of saying like coaches and consultants, right? It's going to be coaches and consultants. Are you currently struggling with lead quality and show up rates? So you have to really understand what your ICP, what your niche is struggling with the most, and you have to have that in your messaging itself. So you want to target those people because that's one of the most profitable hooks you can use. Not only that, you also want to A/B test called indirect hooks. Indirect hook is when you don't use the actual niche name, right? Coaches and consultants. So you want to talk a second or third layer deeper, but still want to call them out. I'll give you an example. Instead of saying coaches and consultants, you can say, are you currently running a VSL funnel? Are you currently running a DM funnel? Are you currently running a profile visit funnel? Or are you currently running ads and struggling with lead quality, right? Those types of people. If they fit that criteria, they're most likely, selling something expensive, especially if you're running like a call funnel. So you have to be fairly smart when it comes to scripting out the indirect hooks. So those are the 3 major hooks that are currently working well. So it's going to be direct, indirect, and problem aware. For a lot of clients, we script out these types of hooks, and we got to figure out which of these 3 criteria on the hooks perform best and double down even further for those. For Adam, what's currently working for him is going to be direct hooks. However, these hooks, you have to be careful. You got to make sure that you're using them for specific offers and specific niches. For hyper sophisticated markets, you might want to use problem aware or indirect hooks rather than direct hooks. If you are in a less saturated market where, there's a lot of opportunity, then you might use direct hooks, right, to be hyper specific. So that's what's currently working for Adam. That's what's we're using in terms of video ad scripts. What we've noticed, that's the video ad structure. And I think that's about it that I want to talk about for today. One last thing is we got to talk about the importance of the hook. I don't think people really understand the importance of the hook based off of math. People always say like, oh, the hook is very important, but they never explain why that is. So when you're running ads, you check your ad account itself. Look at the average watch time of the ad, right? So thousands of people are going to watch that ad based on your CPMs, thousands and thousands. But what is the average amount of length that people actually consume a video ad a video from an ad that you launch for Instagram/Facebook, Meta. The average retention is 3 seconds to 5 seconds for all accounts. Doesn't matter if you're spending $1 a day on ads or $1 million a day on ads. That's the average retention, 3 to 5 seconds. Unless you're running like a VO3 video where you can get like 15 or 18 seconds, but lead quality is really bad. So for the average, it's 3 to 5 seconds. So imagine that, majority of your traffic, no matter how much money you're spending, those people, a majority of people are only going to watch 3 to 5 seconds. So you gotta, be hyper specific of who you're calling out or what you do within those 3 to 5 seconds. That is very expensive real estate. Because after 3 to 5 seconds, a majority of those people, like 75% to 90% of those people, will drop off after those 5 seconds. They're not going to watch the body. They have no idea what you're going to do. So that hook is going to be very, very important. You either got to break down who you're targeting, who you're talking to, what problem you're solving, or what the hell do you actually do. You got to either use those three within the first 3 to 5 seconds. If you don't do this, your ad is just not going to perform as well, just based off what you see on the ad accounts and what I've seen across the board based off data. So it's going to be very, very important. That's why we have to do an A/B test between direct versus indirect hooks. For direct hooks, we have like the ICP callouts, right? Coaches and consultants, right? XYZ, then you have your filler. But when you say coaches and consultants, the ICP, that's a second and a half that's already gone out of those 3 to 5 seconds of the hook. That's lost data. What happens if you can be a bit more efficient with indirect hooks, right? Where you say, are you struggling with lead quality? Running ads, struggling with lead quality. Right now, you're qualifying those people already without mentioning the ICP. If they're running ads, that means that they're spending money on their business. If they're spending money on their business, that means that they're already generating money on their business. So they're already a qualified prospect if they're making money on their business. And if they're struggling with lead quality, that hyper qualifies them even further that they have the problem that I'm trying to solve. So that's going to be an example of like an indirect, but also the importance of a hook, but the reason why a hook matters based off of that math metric. Hopefully that makes sense. Also, some metrics that are really important is going to be hook rates and hold rates. But yeah, I do want to mention, because like this is not a get rich quick page. So for Adam, he closed 10K, and then Joey, I think two days ago, like on my my YouTube video, he also closed a 10K PIF. So for Adam, he closed 5K and 5K. But this is not a get rich quick page. Not all clients are going to be billionaires by day 2. There's going to be some clients, even for my ads, where we're going to struggle with a specific bottleneck, right? Lead quality or show up rates. But it's my job as a marketer to solve those problems for my clients. So today's Sunday, I'll be sending over some messages for some clients today. And then for tomorrow, I'll be presenting like a roadmap for some clients that are experiencing bottlenecks to fix those bottlenecks, which is going to be lead quality. So lead quality is probably one of the biggest things to fix that will fix all business like problems. They'll just basically mean you'll make more money if you solve this problem. So some clients are experiencing lead quality issues right now, and it's my job to actually fix that. So I'll be presenting a game plan for them tomorrow, because it's Monday tomorrow, to fix lead quality issues so they can make a lot more money, similar as Joey and also for Adam. So do want to mention this is not a get rich quick page. Like, if you work with me, you're not going to be a billionaire by day 1. It's about specific bottlenecks, understanding those bottlenecks, knowing how to fix it for a specific offer, specific funnel, specific niche, and then fixing those bottlenecks and understanding them. And then from there, it's just all about math. Scaling is just all a numbers game. But anyways, this was fun. It's a bit more of a technical breakdown and less of like a personal thing, like personal life, like what I'm currently doing. Talk about work and creatives. Anyways, much love. I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll send some messages to some clients. Cheers, guys. Bye.